Hey guys, it's Jonny here. If you don't know me from my YouTube channel or real life, then let me fill you in. I'm going to university in about 3 weeks, and unfortunately for anyone that knows me, that's all I've been talking about for the past few days, weeks, months. And I'm pretty excited if I'm being honest, and so are most people in my position. And because it's the only thing I've been thinking about, I completely forgot that schools went back this week. And so for a bit of comfort and reassurance, I thought I'd make a video for all the new Year 12s and maybe even the Year 13s that still need advice, or maybe even the Year 11s that are particularly curious. Here are my top 3 ways to make sure you keep up with your sixth form work and don't get bogged down during your A-levels. Also, I'm doing a little bit of a science experiment or survey sort of thing, so comment down below what you're taking. I'd really like to know whether my audience is more STEM-based subjects or literature-based subjects and essay subjects. So let's just do it. Let's hop in. Let's hop into the advice. So Jonny, how do you keep up with your work in sixth form? That's a very good question. Piece of advice number 1. When you get homework, firstly, write it in a diary, like a physical diary, get a diary. And second off, when you write the deadline for your homework in your diary, write it a day earlier than what it actually is. That way it's a bit of an incentive for you to do your homework a day or 2 earlier than when you would have otherwise done it. That's a really bad tongue twister, try saying that. So why is this actually useful? Why does it matter whether you do the homework a week before it's due or a day before it's due? Well, say for example you're doing a theatre studies essay, it's an hour long, it's on the Caucasian chalk circle, and you have to, as a performer, write how you'd portray a kind of insignificant character and how you'd demonstrate the VFX and convey the political message intended by Bertolt Brecht, and then while you're doing this essay you think to yourself, I'm really not up to it this evening, I'm really not feeling it, I would rather throw myself out of a window. Then hey, you're now able to. Don't throw yourself out a window though, please don't throw yourself out a window. But you're now able to postpone the homework a little bit if you really need to, because you've got this extra day worth of safety buffer until the actual deadline. And now you've got an extra 24 hours all to yourself to do any personal defenestration that you like. But don't actually, I'm not. Piece of advice number 2. Sorry if the camera angle's slightly different to what it was in the last shot. I somehow managed to completely collateral my tripod. What was I saying again? Piece of advice number 2. Use your studies wisely and work in them. And I know every single person that does sixth form advice on YouTube is going to tell you that, and so are all your teachers. So I'd like to put my own spin on it. This is me spinning it. That's a spin. There's a ball here and I'm spinning it. Use your studies wisely and work in them. However, also, don't spend too much time doing nothing. Let me explain. Dependent on your timetable and dependent on how your school structures A-level classes, you may find yourself with a double free. Yes, a double free. 2 or so hours of talking with friends and playing games on your phone or watching YouTube videos and having fun. And it sounds really good, and it is. However, it can also hinder your learning. And I can speak from personal experience, as in Year 12, 80% of my frees landed within a double. So I found myself twice a week with 2 to 3 hours worth of nothingness, just slap bang in the middle of my school day. And the danger with this is that you can spend this huge amount of time doing nothing and your brain can switch off. You can feel lethargic and unproductive after so long of doing nothing, so that when you come to do work in a lesson after your double free, you're just not up to it. Your brain's switched off and you can't apply yourself properly. So my advice would be, don't spend this double free or even just a single free. Don't spend a long amount of time doing nothing. Don't let your brain switch off. If you're a STEM student, maybe do a practice paper question once every 20 minutes. I know it's not a lot, however it's enough to keep your brain active and keep your mind ticking over. Or maybe, hey, do something that's not even directly related to your A-level studies and classes. Maybe work on your personal statement a little bit, because that's really, really important. And frees and studies are a great time to do this because you've got constant teacher support around you. Or maybe you can practice an instrument for an upcoming grade exam, or maybe you can learn lines for an out-of-school theatre group, or you can storyboard and script a video for a semi-successful revision YouTube channel. I wouldn't know what that's like because my YouTube channel isn't successful in the slightest. So yeah, to summarise, don't do nothing for long amounts of time while in school, because your brain can switch off, you'll feel lethargic and unproductive, and you can't properly apply yourself to work when you come to do it. Yep. Piece of advice number 3. Ask for help when you need it. Now, I say this a lot on my channel, and I've said it in quite a few videos already. Asking for help from teachers is extremely important. However, this video, I'd like to emphasise the latter part of that phrase. Ask for help when you need it. It's better to ask for help early on when you first identify the problem, as opposed to waiting until the exams, waiting until you're revising to then address it. Because if you ask for help early on, it means you've got weeks and months until the exam to understand it, get your head around it, do practice questions, do practice papers. Whereas if you ask for help right before the exam, you don't have that time. Say for example you don't understand integration by parts. That's a year 13 maths topic that a lot of people find. That's a year 13 maths topic that a lot of people find fairly difficult. So if you ask for help when you first learn it, when you don't understand it early on, then you have weeks and months until your actual A-levels to address the problem, practice and understand it. Whereas if you ask for help a week before an exam, then you've only got a week to understand it, get your head around it, do practice papers, do practice questions. You're not giving yourself much time if you ask later rather than sooner. So ask sooner rather than later. And that's about it in terms of sixth form advice for this video. Oh wait, what's that? What can I hear? What can I hear coming? Bonus advice! Yes, you heard it. You're watching the Jonnycheeze YouTube channel. That means you're really cool. That means you get bonus advice. Yes, you bet. Advice point number 4, how to not get bogged down by your sixth form work. This one comes from my friend Matt. He's got a semi-successful YouTube tech channel called Techify. I'll put a card on screen now. And this is a piece of advice he gave me while I was talking to him on TeamSpeak. Make a timetable for the work you're going to be doing during studies and frees. Sure, they're always going to tell you make a revision timetable for when you're revising at home in the evenings, that's fine, but make a timetable for what you do in each of your studies and frees as well. This is really useful because it means when you get to a study or a free and you sit down and you think, oh, I can't really decide what I'm going to work on, you just look at your timetable and boom, you're there. That's the work you're doing, you can crack on with it. And again, I can vouch for how brilliant this is. I never did it myself, however, many times in studies I would sit down and think, right, what am I going to do? Probably maths exercises, because for us in our school they were extremely easy to access with an online maths website we had. So for me, sitting down in a study, it was just natural reflex by the end of year 13 to just, oh, I'll go on integral and do some maths exercises. And as such, physics kind of got neglected a little bit and I needed to work on it a bit more when I came to the mocks. So I would definitely recommend that one, and I know Matt would recommend it too. Make a timetable for your studies and frees. And that's actually it now. This is actually the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far in, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it or if you found it vaguely helpful or maybe interesting. And also maybe even consider subscribing. It's free to you, it doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps my channel. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, I would recommend that you watch some more of my sixth form videos. I've done some other sixth form and A-level advice. I'll put a playlist on screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. That's all from me for now. I've been Jonny. I'll see you next time. Yep, that's it.